because I have a couple of years on him, so
That's
they thought that I
offensive.
was his older sister, and they thought that with me
Offensive.
coming in, I could potentially handle him, and he would be less of a problem.
Allegedly, Pirate Software is guzzling a little bit of the old milk, the special stuff. She walked in and he was like that. I turned around and like the milk moustache like that going on.
It does not look good on your future at Blizzard if you mess with an executive's son. Everybody knows who Jason is. There was like, I don't know what on the walls in his bedroom, and you're just gonna have to like take my word for this. I don't know if it was snot or something else just like wiped here and there on the walls, and more of the like random gray stuff, just spots.
Going back to the well, because Quinn Theo has just released a video, the second part to the video where he's talking to Pirate Software's ex-housemate, okay? Now, some of you might be thinking, well, Chud, come on, surely the milking someone so much is bad. That's terrible. Well, I've actually got some good news. I've got a fellow here that actually seems to believe that milking Pirate Software
Hello there.
is some sort of God-given right. So let's see what my pal Card Posting has got to say on this one. Let's let Card verify our our actions.
Hello there. My name's Card, and here on my YouTube page, I like to make simple little videos talking about things that cross my mind. Recently, I've made a few videos talking about Jason Thor Hall, aka Pirate Software. You know, why he's bad, and my personal experience of him trying to DMCA strike me for saying he's bad, and so on. And you might have noticed, lots of other people on YouTube have been talking about him too. All in much the same negative tone as of late.
Oof.
And not without cause either. But this video isn't just another one talking about how bad Pirate Software is.
Oh, thank God for
I
that.
just wanted to very quickly articulate a thought about one of the meta conversations that's popped up around the issue as the Jason Thor Hall coverage drags on into another month. The way I see it...
Bro. I mean, to be fair, but, you know, Lord Cross released a video about 3 hours about Pirate Software, which if I'm feeling particularly, you know, if I feel like phoning it in one day later this week, I'll probably watch that. But I mean, there isn't really anything else to talk about. It is, I do think the Pirate Software stuff is done. I mean, this is like the thing of the housemate is Quinn Theo. Quinn Theo is legitimately just like stretching it out a bit more with this, because he could have done that when he did the original interview, and he could have done it as one video. But he obviously wanted to like spread it out a bit more, because obviously you could have one video that's got X amount of views of the whole video, or you could have two videos that's got the separate, you know, together has probably got more views, you know.
Any YouTuber, big or small, is more than completely justified in farming the Pirate Software situation for views as much as they possibly can. What's the harm in it? That's just how the game is played at this point.
Hey!
Drama gets views.
Yes!
Sure, you can dislike that personally, or dislike the fact that it incentivizes people to focus on rushing drama content out. But no point getting too stuck up on it in a grand sense, because it's not like it's going to change anytime soon.
Like, look, I get being bored of it. I totally understand that. I'm not, you know, I get it. Like, I can imagine you're looking, going, oh my God, another Pirate Software. I'm so bored of this. That's fine, right? Some people get like fucking angry about it. They're like seething. They're literally like seething about it. And it's like, I don't know, some of these people are a bit fucking wacky to me. It's like, just watch something else, bro. I get it. I understand. I do understand. I'm not unsympathetic to getting bored of it. But some people get so like worked up about the fact that a YouTuber is just talking about the same topic repeatedly because it's making them shitloads of money. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with like, obviously milking stuff. The thing for me is like, as long as you're being fair, as much as that's obviously a cliche now and a meme, you know, as long as you're not being unreasonable and are just saying as long as you're not just saying the thing that needs to be said to placate like Pirate Software haters, I think that's fine. You know, I think that's totally reasonable. It's when you know, it's when you tailor your coverage and your takes dishonestly to an audience of haters. That's when I think, and that, you know, like, for example, do you remember the Mr. Beast stuff? There was absolutely criticism of Mr. Beast. But then people were just pumping out videos that were just like, Mr. Beast bad for this stupid thing, and weren't like critically thinking about it and presenting information fairly to the audience. They were just like, well, Mr. Beast has done this thing, and they've not even really thought about it or anything. They've just like, I don't know, they just sort of like wanted to pump out a Mr. Beast bad video. Yeah, Pegasus guy is probably the best example of this. Because there's no way, I find it is impossible that you can look at all of the Mr. Beast stuff that happened and at every turn say that Mr. Beast is bad. Because obviously there was some stuff you would have to admit that something was overblown, or Mr. Beast dealt with it reasonably, or whatever the case may be, you know? So as long as you're being truthful about your opinions and aren't just saying things that you don't really believe, which I would classify as grifting, in order to maximize AdSense, that's when it's a problem. That's when it's an issue. You know, when you're contradicting principles that you hold in order to say that someone is bad, that's when I think it's a problem. You know? Welcome to YouTube stream. I'm banned on YouTube for a week, unfortunately, because of the Vosh coverage that I did. Because, yeah, it's like, you know, people think the issue is like, no, it's not about milking something. Hey, Pans, how's it going? I graped myself. That's my personal take on it anyway. You know, that's my view. I don't really think there's anything... I think farming a topic is morally neutral at the end of the day. It doesn't matter. Like, it's about how you do it. That's the key point. That's the key thing, you know?
Is it? Nor is it really a massive problem.
Like the best example, in fact, with the Pirate Software stuff that I would point to, of like the kind of credibility check, is how someone dealt with that clip of him talking to his dad. Because if we're being honest, that clip talking to his dad wasn't really anything substantive. But I can easily imagine, if you were so inclined, you could do a video going, hey guys, hey Mike Madness, thank you for the gifted kick sub, appreciate that, thank you. You could do like a, hey guys, it's me chudlogic here today, and oh my god, we have got an absolutely crazy clip of Pirate Software talking to his dad and insulting his dad. Oh my god, can you believe it? He forgot his dad's birthday. What an absolutely horrible thing to do. He's a really horrible son, isn't he? What a terrible person he is forgetting his dad's birthday. When any reasonable person would look at it and just be a bit like, seems like kind of an in-joke between them. Doesn't seem like that big a deal, you know? That to me is what makes the difference. Not just milking a topic like for fucking it, however long you want, you know? Because at the end of the day, like, who decides? Who gets to decide how much is too much? At what point is it too much? Like, there isn't really a definitive endpoint where you can say, well, that's it, you've talked about this topic too much now. You know? And that's the beauty of YouTube too, is you've obviously got loads of different channels that you can go and watch other stuff if you want to as well. You know? So, yeah. Did you do an R review for Mutahar? Yeah, we did the Mutahar stuff, Evil Fossil. Hope you're well.
Because you can always just simply choose not to watch content you don't want to watch.
Bro.
And clearly there is an audience for drama and whatnot, generally speaking. If there wasn't, it wouldn't remain popular. So, given all that, if there's drama to be farmed, if there needs to be a new subject of that drama every once in a while, it might as well be someone like Pirate Software. Someone who, very satisfyingly, hating on is now a very bipartisan thing. Everyone agrees this guy sucks. And even if you're only in it for the ad revenue, might as well strike while the iron is hot. And, just as an aside...
Dude, Nicandros is such a good example of this as well, right? Because Nicandros has like suggested or presented something to me in regards to Mutahar, as someone that has talked about Mutahar's misgivings a lot. And I just think like, oh, I don't really think that's much of anything. Not really that interested in that. you know, and then I just don't really get into it, you know, and then I just call Nicandros like obsessed or something, you know. It's like a bit of banter, but then his persistence has led to him, I think, exposing like a pretty interesting aspect. In fact, I think Card Posting did a video about this. I don't know what his exact take was, but it seems like he was criticizing people for focusing on the legal stuff, I guess, was probably his take. Which I'm not. I kind of see where he's coming from, I think. But anyway, the point is that, yeah, you know, there's obviously, like, sometimes persistence and checking in on someone's content in the past can lead you to find things about them that I think are worthy of some public attention.
If you personally feel kind of dismayed about seeing people just make endless drama videos on Pirate Software or anyone, try it yourself. Turns out it's pretty easy and can be kind of fun too. It's just a thought. Anyway, goodbye for now, and have a lovely day.
There he goes. There he goes. Well, also, I think the inverse of that is also true. And it's something I've always said. It's like, you know, if you just don't like it, fine. But if genuinely it is upsetting you that there's only one topic being spoken about, then, like, be the change you want to be the change you want to see in the world, and, like, give it a go and try and put something else out. I don't know. It's like, you know, if you've got, like, pointed criticism of something someone is saying about something, fine. It's when it's just, like, just vague complaining. Not even complaining, but anger. And getting angry about it and getting upset about it. Okay, guys, so with that in mind, we've got Card Posting's full approval. Thank you to Card Posting. We have got his full approval to watch this video now. Okay? So this is, if you remember a little while ago, Pirate Software's ex-roommate spoke on some aspects of Pirate Software's claims in regards to his history. And there was apparently a second part to the interview where they delve into some more personal stuff. And for some reason it didn't come out for a bit. And now finally, Quintheo has done the, done the solid of releasing it. So let's see what Quinn's got to say for himself. Bro, his thumbnails, dude. I've said before, I think this is just like whatever. Again, something people get upset about. This is so pathetic. Quintheo has made an absolute mountain of cash off of this. He is sitting pretty. 1.5 million views. Jesus, man. Crazy, isn't it? 804k, 99k. Wild stuff. He's probably gonna hit 100k soon off of this. Obviously, you know, there was the recent little drama that we actually spoke about on stream the other day. But I like Quintheo. I think Quintheo is he's very pleasant to talk to, willing to have a chat about stuff. Yeah. I just think that it just comes across like he's really got into this because it's doing so well for him, and he's like, he's too into it, if that makes sense, you know. Not about the farming it, but it's like he's really like, it almost feels like he's fomenting the entirety of his entire content model around just Pirate Software. Which, to be fair to it, listen, I got fucking banned off YouTube for a week for talking about the Vosh allegations. I should have just shat out another Pirate Software segment, and I probably wouldn't be banned on YouTube right now. So Quintheo is laughing.
I interviewed an ex-coworker and roommate of Pirate Software. Now, you guys saw the first part of that interview last week when I talked about the Twitch terms of services. This person had worked at Twitch for 8 years, as well as working at Blizzard alongside Pirate Software. I figured the information was so different from the beginning of our interview to the end of it that I wanted to separate it between two separate parts. And
Oh, come on, dude. You wanted to do two separate videos because that's two separate fucking AdSense getting slopped into your account for different videos. Come on. Come on, Quinn. Be real with us. Bro's making Lord of the Rings.
Welcome.
But
to
Lord of the
Chud
Rings,
Nation.
each thing's only 20 minutes long. Baxy's Brain Rot, thank you for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. I don't know. Listen, it's not the end of the world. I'm not like very upset about this. It's just, come on, bro. You just want to add 2 segments. This idea that it was distinctive. Yeah, it was distinctive, I'm sure, but that is then what led you to go, I'll do 2 segments, then I got 2 videos at 300, 400k views.
Apologize for this one not coming out sooner, which if you want more info on that entire debacle, check out my last video. But we go into detail from Pirate Software even on his first day on the job, apparently just browsing Reddit. For a man that says that he didn't get his job through nepotism the second time, which is when this would have taken place, it doesn't really line up.
And like, this is kind of my whole career, right? My first job, I got through nepotism, 100%. My dad worked at Blizzard for 23 years. Then I came back to Blizzard in 2009, and I applied. Not having his help in any way, I got the job.
More than that, though, we dive into the roommates' experiences and how they only ended up lasting about a week.
Chud is jealous that Quinn is what it takes to get that bag for real, for real. Well, yeah, I mean, he can obviously just upload a video and make money off of it, and I can't. Damn you, Quinn Theo, and damn you, YouTube, and fuck you, Keir Starmer, for fucking your shit as well. It's probably linked to this. You've betrayed me. You betrayed me, Starmer.
Week before putting their foot down and saying that Pirate needed to leave. But with all of that out of the way, just last 2 things. Number 1, shout out to my parents and my brother and my fiance's parents as they grouped together and got this really cool neon sign, which unfortunately flickers. So I don't know if you guys will see it in another video, but it looks really sick. Special thank you to them. They got it as a surprise because the channel's been doing well recently.
I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that. I'm going to get one of those in my new place, I reckon. What do you think? He looks like some sort of homosexual enemy of Batman. Or, do you know, he looks like, dude, he looks like the literal gay Riddler. The actual, fully gay Riddler.
So thank you again to all of you if you're watching. And lastly, if you're new here, consider subscribing. It really helps out trying to hit 100K by the end of the year. We're about to hit 80, which is insane. But just that single press of a button helps me a great deal. And if you end up hating me later, it's just another button tap away. Also, liking the video helps out. So if you find the information in this video useful, give it a thumbs up, get other people to see it. But regardless of if you do any of that, thank you for watching. Nice to meet you. If you could just kind of give your name and then just kind of your experience with Twitch and just kind of your experience with Pirate, everything in between that you think would be relevant to what we're going to talk about today.
Hi, my name's Quintheo Hall. I go by Ludiana online. I am a lifelong artisan cosplayer. I worked for 5 years at Blizzard and then 8 years at Twitch. And I happen to work with Pirate Software at Blizzard as his Wrangler on Diablo 3.
Really quick, number 1, you share a last name, but number 2, Wrangler. So what is that? What does that mean to be a Wrangler for someone during? So you said it was during Diablo 3 testing?
Yes. Basically, what happened is we share the same last name. That's why I don't mind sharing my last name. When I joined the company, they literally thought that we were related, because I have a couple of years on him. So they thought that I was his older sister. And they thought that with me coming in, I could potentially handle him and he would be less of a problem if we were working together. So this was a thing.
Huh? Say what? They thought he was a problem that needs to be managed. Someone deal with the Jason problem immediately. This young lady. I think this young lady could probably help us deal with the Jason problem. Obviously, you know, we don't know the exact detail. Sounds probably like he, you know, knew he got in off his dad's fucking good word. But I think there is a tendency for some of these Nepo babies to be quite lazy and not really do much because they've got like a guaranteed job, so it doesn't matter, right? Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Just fucking sat around looking at Reddit all day, looking at knots, no doubt.
Thing that I had to clarify like day one of me moving on to the team.
So this was, the assumption was, oh, okay, they're siblings. She can kind of tune.
Yes. And he'll be less of a problem because we're related and I could go tell daddy.
That's really funny. With him,
Yes.
So with this, him being a problem, now was that unique to Pirate or is that just to speak to every new person coming into the company?
That was speaking to him and it was not.
Bro, it's, yeah. Yeah, that Homelander scene where he gets the milk out of the fridge and he's drinking it, and then the woman walks in. That's what happened with these two when they first met. Allegedly. Allegedly, Pirate Software is guzzling a little bit of the old milk, the special stuff. She walked in and he was like that. I turned around and like the milk moustache like that going on. That's my headcanon.
That he was an HR violation problem. Don't get me wrong. He's very charismatic. He is easy to get along with socially. However, he was very neglectful of actual work. He was hard to rein in. He was hard to get to focus on anything important. Like, he wanted to do what he wanted to do. And it wasn't like he was a jerk about it. Like, I don't want to misconstrue that at all.
Okay.
I'm sure everybody has seen his streams. Like, he pulls off the personality. You know, like, he's nice to his coworkers.
Yeah.
He wanted to do what he wanted to do.
When we're talking about what's important for, let's say, for instance, the Diablo 3 testing, so what was the important stuff that he needed to take care of, and then what was he doing alternatively?
So I was also the person who wrote all of the test cases. He was on the monsters team with me. So we're talking dealing with all the spawns in the game, all of the boss testing, having to do all the smoke tests whenever there were new builds, that just end to end, make a character run through to skeleton king kill. Like, that's just testing the builds. Whatever the task was for the day, it could just be spawning different monsters and testing their affixes to see how they perform. That easy. But he would just kind of create a character and idle in the client and then read Reddit. That's literally what he did. He sat in front of me and I was assigning the tasks. So not only did I see the work he was not doing, I saw what he was doing instead the entire time.
Okay.
Now, obviously, this is just her word. Okay? This is just saying this. However, I think the best evidence that Jason Thor Hall, Pirate Software, Maldavius Fig Tree, spent all his time at Blizzard looking at Reddit is to just listen to him talk for any sort of short period of time. And you'll see immediately that that is very likely true.
So, sorry, to clarify,
Yeah.
he was Redditing instead of doing his job, which was essentially instead of spawning in and just like running Skeleton King, which I know is like literally that first act, or just testing monster spawns, it was just him browsing Reddit.
Basically. Because it was apparently too demanding of his time to
Now,
actually work.
was this
also,
immediate?
to make a more serious point as well, you know, it does line up with what we've actually seen of his work when he's coding his game. He'll sit there with it open, not do anything for fucking ages, and just talk, basically. Which is, he's basically become a human personification of Reddit, talking about stupid shit and doing his little drawings and stuff like that. Average programmer. Average programmer.
Was this a gradual onset of more Redditor Thor coming out?
Constant.
Okay.
This was a constant. And it was to the point where in QA, we had a maximum of 2 displays. Like, that was just your kit. You had 2 displays. If you had 3, it was because you had a Mac for testing. That's it. He requested a 3rd display because he claimed he needed it for his bots when he started doing some automation testing. He just wanted it to have the extra space for Reddit, YouTube, mail. He just wanted the extra space.
Okay.
God.
Totally fair.
I wish I was Mimi. I am a huge slack ass, and I completely understand, like, the ADHD mentality of I just need stuff, and I also vibe code like.
Okay, 3 monitor setups are excessive. Okay, you have to be doing some. You have to be gaming for hope, doing some pretty intensive gaming streams to just. I mean, even that is stupid, but you know, there is probably some sort of technical job that you do that might require you to have 3 monitors, but that is like top level shit. You do not need 3 monitors. It's ridiculous. It's so fucking overkill. Who the fuck needs 3 monitors when you're just testing the fucking spawn shit that they're talking about? I mean, if it's like for your personal setup and it's like you just want to have 3 monitors because it looks hard and you think it would be based, fine. But this just seems like he knows he can get it. He knows he can get it, so he just asks for it and gets it, you know? One monitor for WoW, 2 monitors for ferrets and knots. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I've just got a very simple 2 monitor setup. My second monitor actually needs replacing. It's got like, you know, the kind of fading that you get at the edge of the screen? I've had it for like, probably like 5 years now. But yeah, I need to get a new one. I'll do it eventually. Probably when I get my new place, I'll go ahead and get a new, whole new setup, I reckon.
I get it. If you're compiling, if you're running bots, you probably want to do other stuff while something is running and just kind of observe the console. I get it. I know how these things work. But I'm saying, like, this dude was legit just ignoring the tasks at hand. We would sit, like, with the window divider between us.
Thanks, Vosh.
I would sit there watching my buddy, and he would watch me, and we would just be sitting there.
Now listen, guys,
waiting.
obviously I said it before, I'll say it again. Okay? I'm still going on holiday next month, right? I'm not having to make any sacrifices because of this issue. It's just one of those things you got to deal with. So the house will be fine. It'll be good. You know, there's no concern. Just a bit troubling. Just a bit troubling and annoying to deal with, that's all.
For Jason to actually participate in the team
Bro,
cast.
does Vosh have 3 monitors? If Vosh had 3 monitors, maybe he could have avoided his little, you know, should we say, incident. He could have avoided his little problem that he got himself into, could he not?
That we had been assigned.
So why weren't you correcting it? Like, if this was the entire way, like, I would get fired if I was doing something like that.
Yeah. So that is the funny thing. I brought this up to my specialist who sat behind me. So it was specialist, me, Thor. He said, well, you could try to escalate it, but no one's going to do anything because I've tried to report it before. So I talked to my manager and I talked to one of the department heads. Like, I talked to the manager over the project. And I was essentially told that no one is going to do anything because of who he is. And this has nothing to do with Joey Ray directly. Like, I want to make this very clear. I'm also friends with Joey Ray. Like, he is a mutual friend of friends. Okay, so, like, I've had direct interactions. I know him well enough to say he would absolutely not do anything to help Jason. Like, he is not somebody who spoke to get him rehired. But here's how nepotism actually works, which Jason also doesn't understand. It does not look good on your future at Blizzard if you mess with an executive's son, period. Everybody knows who Jason is. If you write him...
Yeah. Because sometimes it's not even necessarily that you're... I mean, it sounds like maybe he was getting a little bit of goodies and stuff from it. But you've just got like a sort of... like plot. It's like having plot armor, isn't it? It's like you've got plot armor, basically. And people are not going to want to fuck with you or push you too much or complain about you or something. They're just going to let you do your shit, basically, or something like that, you know. Obviously, this is all... I mean, we don't know what happened. This is all this woman saying this. I don't know her, obviously. So take it with a pinch of salt by all means. But, I mean, this doesn't sound completely out of the realms of possibility to me. I know you all believe her because you hate Jason. That's fine, okay? I'm just saying. Do a pinch of salt ready.
Him up. If you fire him for misconduct or otherwise, people are going to know you did it. They're not going to know that anything was actually going on. They're just going to know you were the guy that fired Joey Ray's son. And your career is pretty much toast because everybody in the games industry knows each other too. So who's going to actually do anything because Jason's doing nothing? Nobody. They're just going to let him do what he's going to do. And that's exactly what I was told. And that's exactly why Jason was allowed to form his hacks team, which is actually just exploits testing. He was allowed to do whatever he wanted to do because nobody would course correct him.
Okay. Now, what year was this when he came on for the Diablo 3? Was this the first time he was hired in?
This was when he came back, I believe. This was, I think, 2011.
2011. Okay, so this is the second round of coming in. You said, to the best of your knowledge, it was as soon as he got hired back in, he was acting exactly like that. He was not...
Yeah.
Okay. With that knowledge, I also just kind of want to touch on, so you say that he kind of created that exploitation team, not because there was a requirement for it, but just because he would not be course corrected to do anything else. And the reason I kind of bring this up, I'm not trying to make Thor look bad intentionally, but I'm targeting the way that you had brought this up about him being and creating that exploit team. It wasn't because he was the best to do it, it's because he's the one that wanted to do it.
My understanding is it's what he wanted to do, and he presented himself as the best candidate to do it. And I am not going to pretend to know the inner workings of how it came to be, because I was not part of those conversations at all. So I don't know if he actually formed the team or if the QA managers formed the team, including him. It's weird calling it a hacks team. It's really not hacking. Like, it is a focused automation testing team. That's really what it was.
Use
like,
bots to test the
exploits.
reported bugs and exploits.
Right, okay. So this is claiming that, again, it's another overstatement, isn't it? Just very minimal actual experience compared to how he presents it. Oh my god, man. Is there anything that's true about this guy? Is there anything that's actually true, or is it all just this bullshit? Don't forget to download Roblox, guys. Don't forget to download Roblox. We've got a Roblox sponsorship, would you believe it? And we're playing it very safe at the moment because of recent events. So, we're loving life. We're loving life.
Yeah, it was automation testing.
Okay. With I think we got a good understanding of what that was. I've kind of touched on that nepotism bit myself too, and was like, well, it's not just, oh, you know, his dad, you know, is like up here. It's like, well, it's not that. It's a very, you don't see it, you feel it. That's it. And the person who's, you know, getting it is not going to notice that. So it's interesting. I'm glad we got a bit more insight on that. You guys knew each other clearly as coworkers.
Can you talk about Waco? Dude, I'm actually quite tired today, unfortunately. So I don't really have the... I don't have the spoons. I don't have the spoons to talk about Waco, okay? We're kind of phoning it in today, to be honest. I'm being pretty blunt with you. Hey! Thank you for playing Roblox, 15 minutes. Yes.
Was there anything like, did you guys spend time playing video games or anything like that?
Oh yeah, geez. A couple things. So video games. There was actually a charity event on campus. It's an Extra Life charity that every year as Team Zerg, unofficially, Blizzard would put together our own team for donations to raise money for Children's Hospital of Orange County. And we would play games on campus for 24 hours straight. Pirate just happened to participate in this.
Yeah, bro, dude. What am I thinking?
I was on his team for a league tournament, and he screamed at our team for apparently not gearing correctly to counter the other team because
Wait, what?
we were just that charity. Video.
I'm playing video games or anything like that.
Oh yeah, geez. A couple things. So video games. There was actually a charity.
Oh my god, Mike Madness with a very generous gifted sub. Let's go! Dude, I can't remember the last time that I reset the bars. Because obviously normally most people are just super chatting. So this is like probably been a month or something. I don't know. Anyway, guys, there we go. The first stage of the grift today has been successfully completed. Thank you for contributing to that. And we will now be resetting it as if nothing happened. As if nothing has happened today. Wow. Oh my god, dude. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. And thank you for playing 15 minutes of Roblox. Thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, there we go. Damn, would you look at that, guys? Guys, I gotta be honest with you. I'm a little bit disappointed that I've been streaming for 2 hours and I haven't got a donation yet. What the fuck, dude? That's outrageous. Don't you know I need to pay for my vacation next month, you fuckers? Bro, I'm trying. Listen, I want to fly premium for fuck's sake. Get your fucking wallet in. Oh, anyway, come on. It's all good fun. It's all good fun. No, seriously, guys. Seriously. In all seriousness. Thank you very much for supporting me. I do appreciate it, okay? I do actually genuinely appreciate the support. So thank you very much for doing that. Very much appreciated.
Event on campus. It's an Extra Life charity that every year as Team Zerg, unofficially, Blizzard would put together our own team for donations to raise money for Children's Hospital of Orange County. And we would play games on campus for 24 hours straight. Pirate just happened to participate in this. I was on his team for a league tournament, and he screamed at our team for apparently not gearing correctly to...
Okay. Either this woman has seen what Jason has done and is matching behavior to things that is being said to make it sound more realistic. Or alternatively, she's telling the truth, and this is just what he's like. The trouble with this is, what evidence are you looking for? There isn't going to be evidence of this sort of thing. Well, what can you do to prove this? This is all stuff that happened like in real life at an event somewhere. I don't really think there's a way that you can prove any of this. It's just you're going to have to either take her for what she's saying or just not believe her or whatever. Like, that's it really, isn't it, you know? Oh, hey, Infix, how's it going? Hope you're well. I've been owned by YouTube, unfortunately. Very tragic. This is one of those things, dude. I do obviously think evidence is important, right? But there does come sometimes there comes a time sometimes where you have to just go, I either believe it or I don't, and that's it, right? Because you're never going to get evidence for any of these claims. It is going to be impossible at this stage to prove that Pirate Software just sat there at Blizzard on Reddit or something. All you can really do, I think, is just try and match it up as best you can to behavior and see what you think of it that way. Yeah, I've obviously got my natural disdain for believing what a woman says too.
Counter the other team because we were just that bad when it's not like we were losing so severely because we all played League regularly. It was not that big of a deal. And we're all sleep deprived. It was very early in the morning after an overnight of playing games. And we're like, seriously, dude, you are raging at everybody, like our entire team. He was just yelling across the floor at everybody.
It's a charity event, correct?
It was a children's charity event. And we're like, wow, we all play League, but man, like we usually only experience this stuff in League. Most of us like played League with each other at work, but this was our first time actually playing with him, especially at work, you know, so that was a whole new experience in the last
also,
time.
Look how he behaved in the Ashes of Creation clip. Like, this is not outside the realm of possibility for how he behaves. So I just don't really see this as that crazy a fucking thing that he was raging at people for doing the wrong thing.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Only the best travels for Chud.
Hey!
Far away from those types of people. Give early, give often, and fill the bars. LOL.
Thank you, Gone Postal, for the 500 bits. Very generous. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Literally any of us played any games with him. And ironically, I actually have something here that I wanted to show you. So they give us like these little cards whenever we do cool things at Blizzard. And this was related to the charity event. That was like thanking me for playing nice with my coworkers. And I'm like, oh, wow, he got one of these too. So yeah, I was kind of floored when I was going through some of my work stuff. Before that had happened, and not too long after he had joined the team, I had a roommate who urgently had to move out. She had a family.
I wonder if Quinn Theo found this person via the people in his server. Yeah, probably found her address, her phone number, her social security number, her credit card details. Oh, I don't think I really asked you guys actually. What did you make of Quinn Theo's? I think we just kind of moved on to something else because I was just not really that interested in getting into like Pirate Software. What did you think of Quinn Theo's like response? I never ended up watching his video because I obviously spoke to him on stream about it. Yeah, I just... I don't think... Lying is excessive. I just, you know, because obviously Pirate Software will twist evidence and information to his advantage, and I'm sure that happened. But yeah, I just think... I don't know, dude. I just think that that sort of shit is, like, just not kosher, really. Seemed like a bit of cope around what his community had become, yeah. I mean, I don't know what action he took and if he banned anyone, say, or something like that. But I just, yeah, I mean, some of that stuff is like... Just looks bad, man. It just looks bad. Best stuff out of it, I'd say. You think Pirate was lying about it? Okay. Yeah, I do think... I think that, you know, I think there's probably some aspect of bad behavior. I think Quintheo himself admitted there was bad behavior, but it felt like he was trying to, you know... The thing that bothered me, I think, was when he was like, Well, I mean, yeah, there was stuff posted, but it was only him saying it that confirmed it was actually his. And it's like, yeah, but that's still like bad. Like, even though PirateSoftware is like maybe an idiot for confirming it, it's still bad that that's then getting put into the server. Pirate did exaggerate what happened, yeah. And I do think he was dishonest about Quinn Theo talking about it. And he tried to act like Quinn Theo knew of everything that was going on, when obviously that's like unreasonable to expect. Interesting. I already spoke to Quinn Theo about it the other day. You know, and I think because the thing is, I'd spoken about it. Yo, D-Butts, thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. Thank you for the kick sub. Yeah, and I think you know, because obviously I was aware that PirateSoftware could be twisting it in a certain way. And I didn't want to completely slate Quinn Theo, but there was just some stuff there that just looked bad, and I think it was bad, and Quinn Theo accepted that. But there was probably like an arguable overstatement on PirateSoftware's part on exactly how bad it was and what was being shared and stuff like that. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Do you think Quinn Theo's cancelled? I still like Quinn Theo. I would have him on if he wanted to talk about stuff in the future.
Emergency, she
Sure.
could no longer like stay in the apartment. And I was like, that's cool. You know, I'll find another roommate. Panicking. Pirate joined the team, and he apparently urgently needed to move out of his dad's house for some reason. So anyways, I was like, hey, so I barely know you. And of course I asked some people around, you know, like, so is this guy like a psycho? You know, like, is this something reasonable? You know, is he gonna...
No, dude, to be fair, Dickers is normally quite good at accepting or receiving criticism. He's not the kind of guy that takes it personally. So, I think he'd probably take that in the good nature it's intended, to be honest. Chud is threatened by Dickers' stardom. Bro. Dude, look, okay, can we be fucking real, right? My main platform is banned, okay? And I'm still pulling more views than all these shitters put together, right? I don't want to suck my own dick too much, okay? But I don't have anyone to be fucking afraid of from the shitter sphere, okay? Give me a fucking break, dude. Holy fuck.
Trash my place if I ask him, like, you know, if he wants to rent this room.
And also,
from me,
I'm phoning it in today. I'm not even on my fucking top level. I'm kind of like at a 6 out of 10, I'd say, today, to be honest, you know? I'm not trying to be not humble. It's just like, I don't know, but it's kind of annoying when people say that. It's like, well, what a stupid fucking comment, dude. You know? 6 is a bit generous. Okay, I was a 6 earlier. I'm a 4 now. I'm a 4 now watching this. I'm at a 4. I started at 6 and now I'm at 4. Okay?
It was a full, like, bedroom plus his own private bathroom. Like, it was basically a split apartment setup. So it was ideal for renting and sharing. Like, it wouldn't have been weird with Nicole coming over or anything. Like, it would have been fine. And I knew Nicole as well. And she was perfectly normal human being.
Nicole
so.
being, sorry, who?
Nicole, I believe, is the girl he ended up marrying.
Oh, okay.
Wait, sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm thinking about Dickers now, which is a terrible state of mind to be in. So we need to roll it back a bit, okay?
It was a full, like, bedroom plus his own private bathroom. Like, it was basically a split apartment setup. So it was ideal for renting and sharing. Like, it wouldn't have been weird with Nicole coming over or anything. Like, it would have been fine. And I knew Nicole as well. And she was perfectly normal human being.
Nicole being, sorry, who?
Nicole, I believe, is the girl he ended up marrying.
Okay.
Like his ex-wife. Yeah.
Okay. Just to confirm, so the timeline events, that charity thing happened a bit after, so you guys had already been rooming together, and then you did not know him prior to him going to work with you?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Cool.
Like, I barely knew who Joey Ray was at the time. Told Pirate, I'm like, hey, are you really looking to rent a place? Because, you know, I have this room open. So he ended up taking me up on the offer. He also had a cat, and I was like, cat non-destructive, right? You know, like, I have furniture and stuff because, you know, this is fully furnished. And he was like, yeah, totally non-destructive. I'm like, cool, because I love cats. I have no animals, fine fit. great. We're on the same team, same overtime schedule. Amazing.
So he ends up being your roommate. It sounds really good. You know, every bare minimum's met, not crazy girlfriend, a cat that he's saying is not destructive. How does that end up pulling out? How long were you guys roommates for?
It took days for him to start screaming at people on Eve overnight.
Eve Online.
Oh, okay, come on. Come on, give the guy a break, okay? I'm sure that he was getting bogged down by shitters on Eve. Come on. Edgar, thank you very much for the gifted kick sub. That's super generous. Thank you. Now I've got to be real with you guys. I can't really complain about that. I can't really criticize that, to be honest. Because I don't know if it was ever gaming. Maybe when I was younger. Maybe when I was much younger, it was shouting at gaming. But obviously, streaming. When I used to live. This before I was on cam, I used to live in like, it was a smaller place than this. It was basically like a room. It was a literal bed sit. Despite what people call this a bed sit, this is not technically a bed sit. Okay, there's a separate bedroom through there, not a bed sit. But anyway, you know, I tried to keep it down. Yeah, the whisper streams, exactly. But then there were times when I would get a bit too heated and then, or shout or something. So one of the other roommates would knock on my door and be like, could you keep it down a bit, please? It's quite late. I was like, okay, sorry about that. And then I'd have to go back and whisper, basically. So it would be very hypocritical of me to criticize Pirate Software for this. I'm sure gaming happened as well, I'm sure.
Chud, you're looking quite handsome today, wow.
Thank you, Kubiosh, for the Prime sub. Thank you for boosting my confidence on this very frustrating day. I appreciate that, thank you. Yay, Gringle! Thanks for the gifted. Hope you're well. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, I do, you know, dude, back in the day, I used to play with friends like PUBG. I did used to get a bit heated then. I always try and accept responsibility for my faults and say I fucked that up as soon as possible because you've just got to admit it. But I did get annoyed at people that like made bad plays and stuff like that, you know? Dude, like, one of the most frustrating things with that kind of game, or like Apex has got the same problem, right? Is when there's like an engagement and you're fighting like 2 or 3 people and desperately trying to fucking win it out, and you're, you know, just about to, you know, kind of gaining the upper hand, but, you know, you're having to put out all the stops essentially, and then your teammate's looting. Right, and you're there, like, fucking getting absolutely rinsed by 3 people, basically. And you're like, where the fuck are you, bro? Why are you fucking looting? What loot do you need, bro? Fucking come and help me! That kind of, you know, because it builds up. What happens is, the stress builds up, and the frustration builds up as you're trying to, you know, do a very difficult thing, essentially. And then the person that is supposed to help you is just not helping you at all and is off trying to find a fucking extended magazine for their gun. And it's like, bro, you won't need a fucking extended magazine if we die because we're going to the next game. So come and fucking help now and then we can worry about that later. So yeah, I think the thing is about raging at video games is you've got to simultaneously be angry justifiably when you've got good grounds or cause to do so. But you also need to be accepting of fault and say when you've done something wrong quickly and move on. You know? That is the best way to do it, I think. Because no one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone fucks something up. And you've got to just be open about that sometimes. You know? And there can even be times when it isn't fully your fault and maybe the teammate has done something wrong too. But it is like predominantly your fault. Or the teammate's been making a lot of mistakes. So you just accept maybe a bit more fault than you should. Just to kind of keep things moving, you know? Because it's pointless to take it into the next game. And you've got to get to the point where it becomes funny. You've got to get to the point where you have a laugh about it, you know? Like, you can have a rage out in the moment, but then as the game comes to an end, you just have a laugh about it, and then you're into the next game and you fucking, you know, forget about it, move on, you know? You know, I think that you've got to be gracious in your anger, basically. And you can't just be like a toxic player that is constantly berating people and never accepting fault and just like, you know. Like, for example, Pirate Software, Ashes of Creation is a great example of that. where I think that he could have been more gracious. He could have taken that and turned it into something funny, but instead he doubled down, and that's the toxicity. That is the genuine toxic game player coming through, you know. Because I don't think it's toxic to get angry. It's human to get angry at a frustrating situation, even in a game, even though it's a bit silly. The toxicity is when you refuse to accept fault and you double down, even when you're proven wrong, you know? So yeah, that's the difference, I'd say. It's not a problem to get mad. It's a problem to act the way that he obviously tends to act about it, you know? And also, the other thing that I really disagree with and think is really fucking shitty behavior is when you're like, oh, you know, well, I tell you what, if I don't find out who it is, I'm just going to kick you from the game. I'm just going to get rid of you, and you're not going to be able to play anymore. It's so childish. And also, it's like, well, if you think like that about it, why are you playing with them in the first place? Everyone's going to make a fucking mistake, you know? And if someone is genuinely that bad that they make so many mistakes, well, don't fucking play with them then. Like, why play with them in the first place if that's going to be the outcome? Like, you've got to, and particularly with like new players, like the most worthless thing is when someone gets like mad at a new player. Like they literally don't know what the fuck they're doing. Of course they're going to make tons of mistakes and they're not going to play in a way that benefits you necessarily. Like you're going to have to go out of your way to help them and explain things to them and, you know, guide them a bit and accept that they're going to do things that are going to get you killed loads. I don't know, man. It's just like, just be reasonable. You know, just be reasonable. You could be angry, but just be reasonable. Not fucking a dickhead like Pirate Software has been. I don't know. I don't know if there's any of like my rage moments on stream. I think a lot of the old gaming streams that might have been examples of that. I think they've been lost to time, unfortunately, because Twitch doesn't save VODs forever. So probably some of the funnier, kind of best like gamer rage that I did on stream is probably just never going to be available again. Yeah, also, yeah, that's true as well. Some people do not want to be a sweat lord and, you know, be super competitive, right? And you need to be able to gauge what the energy of the group is. Because sometimes, you know, it can be fun to not even necessarily be out to win. You just fuck around and, like, do stupid shit and try silly plays. And then sometimes it works and it's hilarious, or it doesn't, and you laugh about it and go to the next game. It doesn't always need to be like, oh my god, we've got to win, and oh my god, we've got to play it exactly right, and we've got to do this rotation right now. Bro, it's like, doesn't always have to be like that. Just go into pubs and have a laugh from time to time as well, you know? Well, dude, Dark Viper's another great example of this, right? Absolutely blind raging at someone over Among Us can quickly become funny. You can turn that into a funny moment that everyone can enjoy. But you can tell Dark Viper is like such an obnoxious, antisocial little freak. He can't do that. And he just, it escalates. There's always the time where you go, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then you laugh, for fuck's sake, man, oh my God. And then you laugh about it. It becomes funny and it's all just a big laugh, you know? And then it becomes part of the lore of you. You think back to it. Do you remember when you fucking got really mad at so-and-so because you did that thing? Oh my God, yeah, that was crazy. And then you talk about like the history of your, you know, your team's play and stuff. But that just became like a really nasty, like vicious thing that it didn't need to be over fucking Among Us, you know? I don't know, man. That's my take on it anyway. So I do think that although I myself am a rageful gamer, I just think that, you know, it's the way you go about it, the way you handle it, and how gracious you are that also matters too, you know? Something like that, I guess, is my overall take on all that.
Eve Online.
Yes.
Okay.
The cat, that's totally non-destructive. Straight up destroyed one of the chairs within the first week. And because it was patent leather, like the polyurethane stuff, he offered to tape it up for me, not replace it, and also tried to make it out like the cat never did anything to the chair, even though it was like raked and like cheese gratered up.
The cat scratched the shit out of the chair. There's no
Scratched the shit out of the chair.
Right. You can't do that any other way. Yeah.
Yeah. There was no way around it. Pretty much any time that I came home and went into the kitchen, all the dishes everywhere, like the pans, still food in them on the stove, shit everywhere, food countertops, everything, everywhere. Like, it was not disgusting sty, but it was very just a fucking mess, okay? And when you're working overtime, you just want to come home, make a quick meal or whatever, especially on weekends when you're not doing overtime. You don't want to have to clean up after your roommate to function in your own apartment. So it was just like trying to do gentle nudging, like, hey dude, could you like be a bit better about putting away leftovers and stuff?
Okay, I think this is probably true. How old was he at the time? Not to excuse it necessarily, but like this is some people are, I don't know, man. Like, how old was he? Like, he was probably in his early 20s, right? Like, I don't know, man. It's like that is fairly standard housemate shit. I don't really begrudge Pirate Software for being like a shitty roommate and leaving a mess. I mean, it's obviously a bad thing to do, but that's not out of the realm of behavior for like lots of people. Lots of people do this sort of thing. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, obviously, yeah, he shouldn't have done it, obviously, but I don't really see this as like a substantive criticism of Pirate Software. This is just like, you know, he sounded like a shitty roommate. And there's plenty of those knocking about, you know? I've been one myself, and I'm sure people in chat have been that too when they were younger, you know? Yeah, like, he didn't do the dishes. It's like, okay, that's like shitty behaviour. But it's hardly like, you know, anything to shout home about, is it?
You know, like, trying to be diplomatic about the whole thing. And I'm like, the fucking combination of things, right? You know, like the not letting me sleep, the cat destruction, the mess of it all.
That was happening within the first week, all of these things that you're listing.
The cat destruction is the most unreasonable part, I think. That's the worst thing of that. That's something that is beyond just like shitty housemate behavior. That is like, you've said that an animal is something that it's not, and then it's had a negative consequence for your roommate. Like, you should just pay for the damage. You know, that's like an easy, just pay. Never had a roommate that didn't leave dishes in the sink for months. Fucking savages. Well, I've told you before, I'll de-racialize it so that I don't get in trouble, obviously. Okay? But yeah, I used to live with a guy, race non-disclosed, and he would just cook a whole chicken in a pot. Like a pot on the stove. He'd just cook a chicken, and then he'd just leave it in there, and over the course of a few days, like out of the fridge even, and over the course of a few days, we'd just like eat it, you know, like off the bone. And then I think I also said about the time I went into the kitchen and there was a bunch of him and his mates all stood round in white towels. It sounds like a K porno. It's not a K porno, okay? But it was just kind of a weird energy. I was a bit like, all right, how's it going? You know, just went upstairs to my room, basically. Alone. Yeah, maybe it was like some sort of P. Diddy freak off. I don't know. He was actually quite a pleasant guy to talk to. Like, I didn't really have that much of like a personal problem with him. It was just he had some unusual habits, which were probably a product of cultural differences. But there was like an old guy that also lived in the house. And he fucking hated him. He was constantly complaining to me about him whenever I saw him, like, knocking about. And I was like, yeah. Like, I think the old guy was a bit racist. Do you know what I mean? Not giving too much away, of course. But I think he was a bit racist, to be honest. Like, the way he spoke about him. Like, he obviously didn't want to go full hog into it and be like, you know, racial slurs. But you could just tell by the way he spoke about him that he was like, yeah, he got a bit of racism knocking about, you know? Obviously, it was a group of German. Yeah, sure. Anyway, the point being, and I've, you know, left mess and stuff. You know, I've been an imperfect housemate. So I just don't really think too much about someone being a bad housemate in terms of mess. The shouting late at night sucks. Being hit by you know, I kind of get it as a gamer. The cat thing is bad. That's pretty bad. He should have reimbursed the damage there for sure.
First week.
Okay, how long did this go on for?
Well, this made me more suspicious about what else was going on. And I'm not a privacy invader, but he had left the door open to his bathroom. And I just looked inside because it was in the hallway. It was like a hallway to go through to the bathroom and then his bedroom, which the door was closed, so I did not go in there. And then my bedroom. So I just turned on the hall light and I peeked in there, and the place was a fucking sty. He had never put up a shower curtain in the bathroom. There was like ashy stuff everywhere, like gray ash kind of looking spots everywhere, including like in the shower, on the floors, on the countertops. The toilet it had been a fucking week, and I could not understand the state of things. Let me just say that I was very concerned.
Oh my
Okay,
God, dude.
and the sum of it all, I was like, this is not gonna work out, my guy. So I just like had a talk with him, and I was like, hey, look, like, this is not a thing between us because you're a cool dude, but like with the cat who said non-destructive, already destroyed a chair, this is not gonna work out. Like, I'm pretty sure that's straight how I played it, but I'm like, the sum of all things, I do not need this.
She seems annoying. I don't know if he seems annoying necessarily. I just think that you need to remember this is like a classic, two sides to every story. Obviously, there's probably things that she did. I mean, obviously you're always going to present it as your like beyond reproach. I don't know what she did or didn't do. So, just bear that in mind. But I think this stuff about Pirate Software is probably true. There's nothing really that like remarkable that is being said that's like yeah, he probably was a shit housemate and probably was messy. Probably didn't clean up after himself. And probably didn't, probably had a cat that fucked things up and, yeah, it probably is true. I can imagine, I mean, he's like a gamer guy as well, so he probably did have like a shitter room. Yeah, dude, honestly, I don't even know if I could go back to like, obviously, I could, live with someone in that respect, but I don't think I could go back to like random roommate shit. Do you know what I mean? That would be too much for me. I don't think I could live with like a roommate where you've got to like it needs to be very collaborative, and I just think it's difficult to really achieve that with like a random person or even someone you're friends with, just friends with. I think it can be difficult to have like a collaborative aspect. What if it was with a viewer? I would not live with a viewer. What the fuck, dude? Is that you trying to invite me to your house? What the fuck is going on?
This apartment destroyed. It's my deposit, my name on this primarily because I was a primary resident, and I do not need destruction of property on my record or any of that. So, like, I could not take that chance. He inelegantly took it as a, all right, fine, I'll move out kind of thing. He did get out of there within the next month. He never paid me back for the chair, by the way. Never did anything about that. And when he finally did move out, I wish I had save pictures of the state of his room. He had cleaned nothing, so I had to clean everything by hand. There was like, I don't know what on the walls in his bedroom, and you're just gonna have to like take my word for this. I don't know if it was snot or something else just like wiped here and there on the walls, and more of the like random gray stuff, just spots and things. It's very...
Is that a, secretion? A certain allegation of a certain secretion on the wall. Is that what we're suggesting here? Am I understanding this correctly? Oh, feral. It sounds very feral in there, doesn't it?
Clearly not like smoke ash because there was no odor of it or anything.
That is just strange. That sounds like a cryptid.
It was very strange, right? It was disgusting. Like, I was masked up and gloved up and everything for all of this because, like, holy, like, gross. Lesson learned, don't get guys as roommates, especially when you're a girl who gets the icks from this kind of thing.
So that's a lot of that personal stuff. Now, I think that is relevant. I do think so. This was, what, 10 years ago now? 15?
Forever, yeah. Quite some.
So I'm not, again, this isn't to dismiss that. That sounds absolutely horrific. This was some of that old stuff, but I really appreciate getting to hear it. If you have any information, like whether it be like even if you have text messages or emails or anything else to kind of corroborate that time, it'd be awesome. If you don't, that's, we're just taking your testimony as testimony.
Please tell me this isn't the average male roommate. I wouldn't say it's the average. It's maybe like the average younger male roommate. I don't know what the actual like psychology or whatever it is, but I think young men, like when they first move out of home, they have this tendency to not be particularly concerned with keeping a particularly cleanliness kind of aspect kept up. But I think as men get older, they tend to have more concern and consideration for that. I don't know. My place is clean as fuck, but I'm gay. Oh, yeah. The gay guys don't count. Gay guys are like women in that regard. Okay? That doesn't count. I'm talking about straight fellas. Like, you know. But the thing is, young women do have a tendency to be like this too. Men get a lot of it in the neck. But women can also engage in this too. You know, they can be quite grotty. You know, you hear about student-lets and stuff like that. And, you know, makeup on the carpet. All sorts of gross stuff going on. I think it's being young. I think the common denominator is that young people, you know, obviously put upon to keep their houses tidy when they live with their parents. And then when they first move out, I think they just have this kind of, like, immediate, like, oh, thank God for that. And then that's when things go to shit, you know?
I think it's just good to know, have some of that context getting into it.
I'll send you over some of the screenshots that I also sent to some of my other coworkers, because like when all the pirate stuff.
What is this?
Like screenshots that I also.
Oh, wait. Just to confirm, there are no minors present in these logs. To be very clear, okay? Right, so this is Facebook. So when I first met you, I was all redacted. And now getting to know you better, I'm all redacted. And today I was tired, so I was all redacted. DX, face expression. All day at work, and then an image. Is it a bad thing that I want to go to work just to find more shit to fix? Oh my God, dude. He was even a loser back then. Look at that kind of message. I slept so long, then played WoW on Legal Day as Hermedinger and chilled hard while healing turrets. The passive is amazing. Define irony. Oh my God, dude. See, this is what I mean. She's not exactly like, well, obviously it sounds like he was doing worse still, but this is like a massive message to get. God, this is a kind of like eye roll. This is like, oh my God, what was all this? What was all this she sent me now? What the fuck is this? Yes, exactly. Dark Viper-esque, precisely. Anna calling the apartment manager irresponsible because he's not making himself easily available. Also, she told me to keep $50 and pay her back $4.50 from the deposit. If she does sign off today, she gets back all but the $247 she owes for renting half of a month through the end of the day. Why does she think rent is free? Why did I wait on her instead of getting you in here first? There first. FML. By the way, you signing today? If so, the manager may not have your keys. It was supposed to be Anna's when she never signed off. I have a spare key up in the apartment if he'll let you in. There should be a Lowe's envelope on top of my big dresser on the left wall by the closet. I'll have 2 keys either in or on it. One for apartment, one for the pool. If not signing, then no worries. This is just like to do with signing for the thing, I guess. The room, the house. Bring stuff after work. Okay. I don't think this is really that interesting. Just remember that I'm starting prorated rent on the day you sign the pay deposit. Yeah, this is not interesting. I'm TLDRing at this point, just trying to say, place is yours, let me know when signing, and give me deposit at work or some such. Don't forget to get all your parking reg sticker and clickiness when you sign. I'm going to handle it this weekend, and yeah, your friend is very odd view on reality.
Sent to some of my other coworkers, because like when all the pirate stuff like really started stirring.
Oh, so I only owe you 71 more bucks. No, as I said up front, you pay when you move in for a full month. Since you haven't stayed a full month in October, the time from signing to end of month is what you're charged November 1st. Like flip-flopping the rent. A full month for a partial month stay, partial month for a full month stay. This is what all apartments do. You owe me $200 for the current month. Rent is paid before the time you stay there, so the partial month is due November 1st. Right, so this is just talking about that. Okay.
Like we started sending stuff to each other. One of our other friends, he's another person that played League with Jason at one point.
Okay, sorry, that was actually not that interesting, to be honest with you. That wasn't very interesting. They're just discussing the particulars of moving in. That wasn't really that interesting, to be perfectly honest. I messed up. I messed up, guys. I messed up by reading it.
Apparently also got raged at. But this guy is a master troll. This guy was also one of my best friends. Would print out a photo of Edward Cullen's face and tape it to the bottom of Pirate's mouse, so that whenever he would come back to his desk, he would wiggle his mouse to try to wake his PC, and he just couldn't wake his PC. So he'd have to flip his mouse over and be greeted with Edward Cullen's face. And you could just hear him scream across the floor.
It's good to know. So this wasn't like, you know, he swooned everybody with his charisma. Because, like, I'm not going to lie, like, the internet understands that. A lot of people are, you know, he was in the good graces of most of the internet literally just a year ago. But you're saying, so even with that, and I think it makes sense based on his quote-unquote work ethic or lack thereof, there were people that already were, like, he was just kind of irritating.
And I feel like this is why a lot of people aren't really talking about him, because like there's several camps of us. Either people just legitimately didn't know him at the time, didn't care to know him, don't remember him, aren't even aware he exists at this time. He was on no one's radar. There's no reason for him to be on anyone's radar right now. They have no clue who he is. There's people like me who had to work directly with him and are just so raged that they don't want to talk about him. There are his few friends who like may speak positively about him, but we don't really hear anything from them. But then there's also the few people who want to speak out, but they don't because they're afraid of the repercussions. And I feel like that's the majority of the people that I know too, because games industry is so small. A lot of people are still in games. So they don't want to talk about these things because, again, you know, like they don't want things to come back to them.
Is it even a matter of, so does Jason's dad, does he have this like undying love and adoration for his son that is going to impact someone's work history? Is it just the fact that you would speak about someone's son?
No. So here's the thing about Joey Ray. I am not in his DMs at all.
I think it's probably just like, I don't know, you could be seen as a troublemaker or something, and the thing is you could just get grief, or there could be some negativity that comes your way. I get not wanting to get into it if you're like in the industry, you know. Quinn is a creep. Quinn is a journalist, bravely and ruthlessly pursuing the truth, even if he has to find someone's social security number to get it from his Discord.
About any of this, because I respect him and I know, like, at least in the past, about
but like the thing is, there's literally no upsides. Oh, some people on the internet might think you're cool for calling fucking Jason Thor software an idiot, but then you go back to work on Monday and people are like fucking looking at you a bit weird, or maybe there's some sort of like, you know, underlying tension or something. So it's probably just not worth the hassle. You wouldn't bother, would you? I don't think you'd bother. You just want to have an easy life. But probably getting a bit of satisfaction out of someone you don't like getting roasted by the internet.
Felt about this thing. His entire mentality has been, if you have a problem with Jason, take it up with Jason. Like, he doesn't want to deal with any of that. He's not the kind of person who's like going to come to his rescue.
That sounds like the healthiest way for nepotism to be dealt with. That sounds like, I mean, Joey Ray sounds like, yeah, you shouldn't be going to me, because that's how you propagate this. So I guess I was more asking, like, the people that shied away, is it simply because they knew that Thor was, you know, the son of him, or was it because like there were also consequences because he was was he protecting Thor in any step, or was it just the fact that they were, you know, father and son?
A lot of people that aren't speaking up aren't doing it because they're afraid of Thor's followers, actually.
Oh.
They're afraid of internet repercussions and internet people coming for them.
It has nothing to do with the dad.
Like, legitimately. It has nothing to do with his dad. Because his dad, like, especially
I mean, okay. I really dislike these kind of narratives. It's like, yeah, I'm sure he's got a very motivated fan base. But so do a lot of people. I don't know, man. It's just like, okay, yeah. I mean, it's understandable. I just think that that's probably what it's going to be, and people can choose not to speak up if they don't want to hassle, and that seems to be what's happening. So everything's kind of fine.
Anybody that knew him, like at Blizzard, while they were there, and those of us like who know him a little bit better outside of Blizzard, he's normal. He's just a dude. Like, he happens to have been an executive who worked at Blizzard forever. He's a cool guy. Don't get me wrong, but he's not somebody who's going to mess with people. That is not him. He is not like that. He would never do anything like that.
I just wanted to include that last part there because I think it's important to make a distinction that it wasn't like, you know, Joey Ray going out of his way to smite down anybody that would talk badly or,
Well done,
you know,
Quinn
report
Theo.
his son. I just really wanted to make sure that I was representing him in the same way that she was describing him. And just to reiterate on a final note, like, yeah, this stuff happened back in like 2011. Now, Pirate was like 24, 25 at around this time. So I still think, you know, brain was pretty well developed at this point. You know, maybe he has changed over the last, like, truly over a decade now. I think probably the most significant part of this video is just kind of pushing back on his claims that he didn't get the second job at Blizzard through nepotism, when it looks very clearly, based off of her testimony, like that's exactly what happened. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below, and look for a Mutahar video coming out tomorrow. That's it. I'll see you guys later.
He's just finishing up milking this cow. And he's having a little look over there, and he's like, "Oh, looks like that guy's getting a little milk out of those teats." I wonder what's going on there. Obviously, I can't hate on that. Okay, I think that's based. I don't think he's copying me, dude. It's not. I didn't put the fucking trademark on.
That's wonderful.
Talking about
but how do I make
the
money
latest idiot
off
exposing
depressed
themselves. Shit. Thank you, Cosmojora, for the Prime sub. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, I don't begrudge that. In fact, we're going to do a little bit about Mutahar now. But guys, ladies and gentlemen,